Thank you very much. The next speaker will be Judge Lewis Freed. He served as the director of the FBI under two U.S. presidents from 1993 to 2001. He was described by Mayor Giuliani as the singularly best suited person in America to run the FBI, and a law enforcement legend by President Clinton, who appointed him as director in 1993. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here tonight, and I first of all want to compliment you as an audience. You've been absolutely extraordinary, your attention and your patience. And on behalf of all of us, but particularly my American colleagues, and many who are not here, we know that your friends and family members in some cases in Camp Ashraf will see this. And our message to you tonight is, in the words, General, of Prime Minister Churchill, never, 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 never give up. President Rajavi, we applaud your leadership. We honor your programs that have every single attribute of human rights, freedom rights, women's rights, and we pray for the day when you can go to Tehran and also come to Washington, D.C., please, and see us there. Three very simple, repeated but critical messages tonight. Madam Secretary, Mr. President, delist the MEK immediately from the Foreign Terrorist Organization list. This organization is not a terrorist organization. It does not have the facts that support that. The law militates against that finding being continued. Number two, please protect the men and women of Camp Ashraf immediately. And three, support, as Mayor Giuliani said, support positively and affirmatively and aggressively the MEK and the freedom fighters in Iran. To the men and women and the families in Camp Ashraf, we applaud your courage. We honor your sacrifices. Members of our Congress, as you heard General Mukasey mention, an incredibly extraordinary group of former American officials who do know something, by the way, about terrorism, have supported you, have put their names, their honor, and their reputation behind the very simple message that you must be delisted immediately from this foreign terrorist organization list. We also neglected to mention former CIA directors, the former National Security Advisor to the current President of the United States. Governor Riddell talked about, different kinds of evidence, and you have lots of different kinds of evidence here that compels you to this conclusion. But beyond, what we know and what we hear, it's also what we haven't heard. And let me just tell you something about not just Washington, but any capital, in any government, in any country in the world. If there was one scintilla of evidence, of credible fact, that supported the listing of the MEK as a terrorist organization, do you think for a minute an Attorney General of the United States, the Mayor of New York City, a former commandant, ambassadors, governors would be up here? Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't even had a leak in Washington, D.C. that indicates in any way, shape, or form that this organization should maintain itself on that list. And the reason for that is there's no law, there are no facts that justify this designation. So let's talk about maybe another approach. And we're very delighted, by the way, with the Commissioner and the action that's recently been taken with respect to the protection and designation. The United States of America has a duty to protect the men and women of Camp Ashraf. A solemn promise by our U.S. military, and that's not even getting to the moral obligation and everything else that goes with it. it's not just a passive listing. It's not just a designation that goes onto a piece of paper for policy reasons, because as you heard, there were no facts, even in 1997, that justified this designation. And I want to talk about that for a minute, and only a minute. The designation, remaining as it is today, is a license to kill, not only to the Iranian MOIS and IRGC and its agents, but to the Iraqi government, as was witnessed so brutally on April 8th of this year. In fact, there was a New York Times article, which was clearly an article written with great access and great support and great input by the President's staff and key White House policymakers. And I asked the New York Times to make two very powerful points, giving the President, as I said, due credit for what happened in Libya and the policy of the United States. There were two principles, is the way the New York Times reporter wrote it. Principle number one, America has the responsibility to stop looming genocide. Principle number two, America will not act alone when the safety of U.S. persons is not directly threatened. So we ask our President and our Secretary tonight to please apply this policy to Camp Ashraf. If we do nothing, we don't have to speculate about that, because we see what has happened before. Number two, the U.S. doesn't have to act alone. We're acting now with the EU, we're acting with the UK, we're acting with the High Commissioner, we're acting with the moral strength and moral directive of every human being that sees and understands the lives that are at threat here. So we urge action, and we urge it immediately. Thank you.